Hi, Trinity Energy Progression Practitioners. This is Angela Coulter, the originator of Trinity Energy Progression. And it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so I was just going to write a letter to everybody because I haven't done one for a while. And I was getting the guidance to actually do a video. So hopefully it'll be short and sweet, but there's a lot to talk about because there's so much going on. And I know we have been so busy and everybody's sort of had so much going on in their own lives that it's been challenging to stay connected as we have been as a community for a really long time. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the importance of that right now because we have so much that is falling to the wayside and our old realities have been crumbling, and it's time to start a new earth, a new reality. But to do that, we have to let go of everything that doesn't serve us, and that has been rocky for a lot of people. And continues to be for a lot of people. And I've had a lot of change going on in my own life. I've stepped back and been sort of incognito, not really incognito, but just sort of stepped back for the past month, for the month of November, through my guidance, so that I could let go of old patterns, look at things differently, get a different perspective, and change and create from a completely new perspective. And that's really what I'm doing right now. So really exciting because there's just so much going on. So in November, I did hold a pilot class of what we're calling self-development via divine consciousness. In 2016, Trinity instructors will be teaching that as well, and it's a one-day class that is completely focused on self-work, on how to do, and it's not just like what we did in class. It's far more than that. It's going into more detail on creation statements and how to look at what is holding us back in the mirror, because I understand that not just for those who have never taken Trinity, but also this is a fabulous opportunity to take this class if you're a practitioner, because it actually will help do the self-work. Because I've said from the beginning, my guidance had been when this whole practice came into me that the biggest part of it has to do with self-work. And I know that so many are happily working with other people, or they do shares, but I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to, how many practitioners who I've taught and who I haven't taught, who others have taught, who have said, yeah, well, they've done shares or they've worked on other people, but they don't do a whole lot. They just do the regular meditation because they're not quite sure what to do on themselves. And somehow that's gotten lost. So the guidance had been through this year to create a class that's like a one-day class for those who might not want to become practitioners outside of the Trinity circle. People who would benefit from doing the self-work and are ready to really take the bull by the horns to learn how to do it themselves, and then maybe later become practitioners, but it's not required. And also, though, what I'm also getting is a strong point of this is that there are many practitioners who really are missing out on the self-focus work, the self-development and self-enhancement that Trinity provides, because ultimately that's what it's for, is for our own self-development, to get back into the existence, our full existence of Christed consciousness, of self-realization, or there's so many terms for it. So I'm excited to do that. I'm also offering, for any practitioner who would like to take this class, I would love to run one more pilot class, because I just did a pilot class this past month. That was a one-day class, and I would like to do a pilot class that's a 2-day class that splits it up into 2 3-hour chunks, probably at night during the week. And I was thinking of doing it this month, like either 2 Wednesday nights in a row or 2 Thursday nights in a row. And I'm considering really offering it to practitioners as an update workshop. And instead of the price of $225, which is what the class is going to be out of the gate in January, I am getting to just, say charge $75 for it or something. Because actually that's about what I would charge for an update workshop anyway, which is a typical one-day thing that we've been going around. I've been going around doing for the last 2 years, because our practice and our understanding of the practice and our understandings overall have been changing so quickly that it's important to keep up to date on this practice. And really, this is a fantastic, powerful way to look at yourself differently, to do self-work, to do this, to do what this is here to actually help people do, and really step into their own power, to their own divine selves. So look for that. I think I'm going to probably set that up today and put that in the email I'm sending out to everybody. But I'm looking at probably maybe next week and the week after, which would be the second week in December, maybe the Wednesday or Thursday, and Wednesday and Thursday. And then the recording is also available afterward if you take it. And if you can't make one, but you can make the other, or you can only make part of both, you can actually have the recording available to look at for like a month afterwards. So think about that. Because I haven't done an update workshop in some of the geographical areas that have been building around the country, and would love to have some one-on-one time with some practitioners to really help with that self-enhancement, because right now it's really important. Really important, more than anything else. And if we're not doing that, then either we're doing it ourselves and being proactive about it, or the world is crumbling around us and we're getting pushed into it. Either way, we're going to have to do it. So that's my understanding. But I just did another video for the public that is going to be posted as well, so you can go and look at that, and I'll link to that from the letter as well. But part of what is, well, before I even jump into that, part of the importance of this one-day class too, and the self-work, has to do with these creation statements. I understand there are a lot of people who are still, a lot of practitioners who are still like a little iffy on that. So this would be a great place to really get some clarity on it as well, and that we can work on it together. It's interactive, so it's not just a recording. I'll be live, so you can ask questions, and that's why I was sort of thinking it would be a great forum for all practitioners, anybody who wants to join in. Anyhow, so the creation statements, very important. Creating, very important. Coming back to a simple place of unconditional love, being, exhibiting, creating from and emanating unconditional love in all ways, reassigning the ego to this place of, to have the new function and embrace the new function of assuring that all thought, words, and deeds are aligned with that intention of being unconditional love and acting in it and emanating and creating from, which the ego is very happy to do, because the ego is like, I got this. I got this. And it's a great productive way for us to shift our focus. The other part that's really important that came into me yesterday has to do with in our creation, it's important just once to set it up on auto clear or whatever, that all new creation is easily and full flowing, gracefully. Now I can't remember the words. I can't. Okay, let me think. Give me a sec. Incorporating, integrating, and assimilating with the existing creation as we create anew, so that it all is a flow and effortless and flawless in its assimilation. Because I was coming up with some really clunky disconnects, and finally that was the guidance that came to me, which was, you gotta just make sure in all this new creation, which is so expansive and awesome, that all the old stuff automatically just incorporates, integrates, and assimilates into the new creation, and this way there's no having to manually go back and do that. I just have to set it once. So maybe we'll just do that here, shall we? Anyhow, do shares with other practitioners. If you're not doing self-work, please consider taking this workshop thing. I would love to have one-on-one interaction with everybody, to sort of get them refreshed and ready to go, because we're coming into 2016. 2016 is a monumental year, and we can make it fabulous, or we can make it a complete crumble of everything. Well, it's all fabulous anyway, but I'm totally going for the fabulous and fun. And if you're putting off doing your self-enhancement, self-work, self-focus, whatever you want to call it, stop and step back from your patterns. Give yourself some space and do it differently. It's I want to say frustrating, but that implies expectations. But it's interesting to see so many who have the tool, or tools, not just Trinity, but others, on changing things within their reality, and they just it's easier to hold on to it and be a victim to it than to, the ego perceives it as easier to just allow, claim victimhood to it instead of changing it. And it could be, yeah, because it's a little uncomfortable. And I'll tell you what, a lot of uncomfortable stuff has come up in the past several months for me. And the thing is, though, the more I look at it with acceptance and in love of the whole picture and wholeness, the easier it is to look at the stuff that comes up. And yeah, it's still a little jarring because everything is crumbling and the old ways are crumbling because we're ready to get into the new world, the new game. But the key is to be observant instead of getting lost in it. Like I always talk about the tsunami of change that we've been going through, continuous, this whole several years, but this year really has been an intense one. And you can, and I say all the time, the guidance is either you can ride the tsunami, you can drown in it, or you can become it. I'd rather become it because then you have no perception of anything but what you're doing as part of the whole wave, versus even if you're riding it can be tiring and exhausting. And then of course is the drowning part. Part of the stuff of what's ramping up in the world issues has to do, my understanding is, has to do with the fact of the masses who still are ignoring the messages that their higher selves are giving them on how to come into unconditional love and acceptance and seeing the bigger picture within themselves. And the more it's ignored within ourselves, the louder it gets, and then it becomes familial, community-wide, and then national, international level, universal. There's so many things going on, and I didn't say this in my public video, but wow, there's so many old disagreements based in duality at much different higher levels of consciousness in much different dimensions and much bigger picture, because there still is ego there as long as there's identity. And so there's a little bit of a power play going on there too. So we have it going on at these multiple levels. So we are we have quite the tsunami going. So again, go back into yourself. And if you need help going back into yourself, then ask for help. Do shares, talk to me, do this workshop. Give yourself that holiday present. Because it's, if we just did, if all we did was focus on ourselves instead of worry about everything else, it's fabulous that there are all of these healing circles for whatever, Paris, Beirut, Kenya, Japan, like all over the world. If everybody's, instead of spending that energy on that, instead actually looked at the thing that they're most uncomfortable looking at within themselves, actually, how much more efficient that would be on a collective scale, because then we wouldn't need it anymore. So that's my 5 cents. So let's do a healing. Let's do a healing or a session, a group session here on doing that, on living, on being, existing in, manifesting from, and emanating unconditional love, letting the ego accept, embracing, and the function of aligning all thought, word, and deed with that intention, and also to automatically, in all new creation and all of our growth and expansion, all new creation, have all of it seamlessly and easily incorporate, integrate, and assimilate with the creation that has existed, so that we can simply flow through this and be the wave. Okay, so just close your eyes. We're just going to do a group session here, and then we'll be done with it. Oh, that was fabulous. Well, I felt even better than the public video I just did. Feel everybody out there. So, do that again and again to help you out if you'd like. But really, I'm going to implore the self-focus, self-enhancement is key. If you have something holding you back, you have the tool and the remembrance now to really change it, to start to empower yourself and get beyond it. So thanks for there's just so much I have to share, and I know that's going to probably be coming at the end of the month, but so much awesomeness. I have so much gratitude for this entire community and what we're developing together, and the reminder and the seed that we have all become, which is part of what I have to explain later on this month as part of a book that I'm writing. But know that I am with you, and we are always connected, all of us. That's part of what this whole practice is about, and why we all agreed to come and do this time, which is fabulous. And there are other ones as well around the world. So if you have questions, ask me or your instructor or other training practitioners. Some have asked me after a class whether I've taught them or not. Because I'll reach out and ask if they want to do a share, and the question I get is, well, I'm really not quite sure what the share stuff is. So the share is like when you're in class, in the practitioner class, and you do when you do sessions with each other. That's what a share is. So you do it in person, or you can do it on the phone, you can do it on Skype. I do them with practitioners everywhere in all those different ways. So reach out to me, reach out to others, even if you've never met them, because we're all part of that same consciousness, and it's really fabulous on how many of us just remember each other almost immediately when we start talking. So step out of your comfort zone, look within, and be ready to build and be the tsunami, be the change. Be the change. That's what we're going forward with Trinity. Watch for the new website. The website has been changed, but it's going to continue to change, and just a lot more to come. So thanks a lot. Love you all. If you have any questions, let me know. Signing off. Have a great one.